recording on the computer. So I don't want to take too long, but I just want to show you maybe I can start by sharing some photos from what happened. So for not only myself, but also for my mother, who got promoted to Sharon Rose Master, we both had the honor of being promoted, having the promotion ceremony at the Success Academy in Penn. So let me just show you very briefly the photo. I will share the screen now. So I not only received the promotion gifts on stage, but I also had the honor of giving a speech for the promotion. So I believe that the promotion speech will be uploaded on YouTube, which you can check out in a couple of days. And I also made sure to give my speech in English, not Korean, so that more people can understand. So I hope that you will enjoy. And I want to also share all the glory with God and all the honor. Let me also show you a picture of the new Sharon Rose Master. Here. Yeah, so as you can see, we also have the new Sharon Rose Master promotion. One thing that was super interesting for this was that before she went on stage, there was a video for the promotion, which is normal for new Sharon Rose Masters being promoted. But this time for Sharon Rose Master Jung-mi, they created a video with AI. So the video was completely AI generated. So it's super interesting. I hope that they upload it on YouTube so that we can all check it out again. It's really cool. So I'll be sharing that in the group chat as well. So, and I know that our chairman, Park Han-gil, is also putting an emphasis on the development of AI and the integration of AI in our business. And as you can see, Chairman Park, with his guidance, the company is the one leading by example when it comes to using AI for Atomy as well. So I think that's super interesting. And I think now, I don't want to take any longer. So let's move on to the company model recital, and then we can get started with the presentation. If you're not aware yet, for today, I have posted and announced that the topic for today is going to be a presentation on 8 steps of success. So while staying here in Cambodia, I didn't only come here for promotion, but it is also because Crown Master Lee Sing-hee is visiting Cambodia. And she was the one who came as the guest speaker for Success Academy. She also spoke at 2 of the really important seminars for the leaders in Atomy Cambodia. And one of the real focus of her teaching to this time and her emphasis was on the success system and 8 steps of success. So that is why I also want to take this opportunity to share what I have learned and reviewed over this trip. So without further ado, let's start with the company model. Okay, are we all ready?
Yes.
Yes. Company motto. Yes.
영혼을 소중히
Cherish the
여기며
spirit,
생각을
create the
분명하다.
spirit, follow the faith,
하며
serve the
성실히
community.
지킨다.
Thank you so much for your very enthusiastic participation in the company model. As I say at every event and meeting, the reason why we recite the company model is because they are the best reflection of our business values and company culture. And that is why we always recite this in order to remind ourselves of what is really important in our business, which is to cherish the spirits and manage our thoughts and serve in humility, right? And I think it's a really beautiful model. There's also a video on YouTube explaining in detail about the model if you're interested to watch that. So let's move on with the main content of today, which is how to manage Atomy business. So now a lot of the people who are here and returning every week to this webinar, you have seen so many times, right? You have listened many times to the presentation on the company introduction, on, about the product presentation, and also about the marketing plan, right? So I'm sure that for all of us here who are not only just consumers of Atomy, but business members who are doing Atomy business, we all know about the real value of Atomy. So then, in order for us to really seize this opportunity and grow in this business, then what do we need to do? So we're going to use the presentation from Crown Master Lee Seung-hee for herself on how to manage Atomy business. So I hope you enjoy. So first, there are two things that are the most important when it comes to managing Atomy business. The two things are why and how. First, we have to know why we are doing this business and why we need it. And then after we are very clear on the why, then we can move on to how, which is what do we actually need to do, right? Without the why, without the reason why you are doing this business, then you cannot move on to how. Because when you don't know why you're doing this, then you will quickly lose motivation and it's very easy to give up in this business. You know that in Atomy, there is no registration fee, no monthly maintenance, no financial investment required whatsoever in order to start this business, right? Which means that it is very easy to start this business, but at the same time, it is very easy to quit. So that is why, in order to guard our heart and protect ourselves from this business, we have to be clear on why we are doing this business. And then after that, then we can move on to how. So when it comes to why we are doing this business, these are the three questions that you need to find an answer to. First, why should you do Atomy business? Or why should anyone do Atomy business? The answers are very clear, right? After COVID-19, that a lot of the businesses, and not only that, a lot of the jobs have been very extremely insecure. So now I think it is very clear for everyone that whatever source of income that they have is not secure and is not safe anymore for the future. So that is why we need to have a second source of income, especially a source of income that is systematic and passive. And that is why we need to do Atomy business, right? Then moving on, then why can anyone succeed in Atomy? We need to be clear in this as well. The reason why anyone can succeed in Atomy is because first of the products and then the marketing plan. So we have to study this very well and then really make sure that we understand. And after that, then we will be very clear and very confident about our success in this business as well. Now, lastly, you have to know, and this is the most important, why are you doing Atomy right now? For what are you doing Atomy business for? So this is not about why everyone needs to do Atomy business. This is about your personal reason and your personal motivation for doing Atomy business. What are you trying to achieve? So when you have this dream, right? This is in Atomy, we emphasize on achieving our dream. So you have to know this vision for yourself. And only then you will have that fire to keep you going so that you can continue in this business even when you go through obstacles and difficult times. As Imperial Master Lee Do says, when you have a super dream, then nothing can stop you from going further. Now, so when we are clear on the why, and then we ask, so how do we actually do this business? Then the answer is the same for whoever you ask in Atomy. Any leader in Atomy that you ask, they will all give you the same exact answer, which is to follow the 8 stages of success in the correct order, and then practice 8 core daily habits every single day.
우리는 허리를 펴며 좁히 쌓이고 대장이 바닥이기 때문에 마셨죠. 대장은 고개를 저으며 맞은편에 앉아. 근데 연쇄의 이런 현장은 괜찮지. 너희는 잠시
Sorry, one moment. All right. So now I will go into detail about what are the 8 stages of success and then what are the 8 core daily habits. All right, so I think that if you are doing Atomy business, you already know about the 8 steps. right? First, we need to find our dream and set our goals, right? And then second, we have, after we find our dream, then we have to make the commitment in our hearts to really that we are going to do everything it takes to make that dream come true. So we're going to commit to our dream and our goal. And after that, then we can move on to take action, which is to make a name list. Then when the reason why we make a name list is because we need to share Atomy to people, right? And so what after we make the name list, then we can start inviting people, show them the business plan. After that, then we need to follow up with them as well. And then for whatever response that we receive, we get counseling from our sponsor. And when we can follow all of these 7 steps, then we duplicate ourselves that follow the 8 steps of success into all of our partners so that they can do the same. So that is how you can follow the 8 steps of success in the correct order. So I will now explain each of the part in more detail. So dream and setting goal. This is all about writing your balanced life scenario. We have a very famous lecture from our chairman Park Han-gil about life scenario. And the reason why all of us are doing Atomy business, our end goal and dream is to have a balanced life, right? You know the saying, money cannot solve everything, money cannot buy happiness. Yes, and it's true. There are many people who are super rich, but they're also very depressed, right? And then maybe some people have a lot of money, but they don't have friends to spend it with. Some people have a lot of time, but they don't have money. So we need to live, in order to live a successful life, then everything in your life needs to be balanced. So you need to live well materially, but also love and have people to love and live a life of learning and also contribute to society to have a sense of purpose in life. When you can have all of this, you can have a balanced life. So when it comes to setting target, after we find our dream, then we can set our goal, right? When we put a deadline to our dream, then that becomes a goal. So when we set goals, here is the reason why we need to do it. To keep our thoughts from going back to the past, and also to have a sense of accomplishment and to set bigger goals. Whenever we accomplish our small goals, then that will make us become more confident. And then the more sense of accomplishment that you have, then you'll have the confidence and courage to challenge yourself to bigger goals as well. And then step by step, you will get closer to actually getting to your dream. And second, why people struggle with setting goals? The reason is because they're afraid that they will not make it. Everyone is afraid of failure, but that is very normal, right? The whole point is to overcome that fear and to actually get to the challenge ourselves and then in the end accomplish our goals. So how we actually need to set the goal is this. We need to be concrete. We also need to have a quantifiable goal, right? We need to be able to know whether we met our goal or not. If your goal is to be rich, then how will you know, right? Do you have to wait until you can afford something that is very expensive or when you have a house and a nice car? But how do we know what's the standard, right? So you need to put a number. You need to set a number and say, when I can make this much per month, then I would consider myself rich, right? You also need to be able to record your goal, right? Or your accomplishment and visualize it as well. And then when you can do that, then you can have your long-term goal, which is your end goal, your medium-term goal, as well as short-term goals, so that what you're going to do every day, every week, and every month. So after you come up with after you find your dream, your energy, your passion, and also your goal, right? Then you also need to be able to make a commitment. So what are the things that you need to commit to? First, you need to commit to leading your own life. You need to, when we are doing this business, we are doing it to make our dream come true, right? We're doing this for our future. We're doing this to change our life. So if that is the case, then you have to make sure that you trust your instincts. You stick by your decision, right? And make your own decision for your life, right? When all the other people are saying negative things about Atomy, saying that, oh, isn't that MLM? People usually start that, but then they fail. And, isn't that a scam? When all of those people say those negative comments, do not let yourself be influenced by that. Those are the people who say those things because they don't understand this business. So are you going to let yourself be affected by those people who don't know the true value of Atomy? Or are you going to trust yourself, who was able to really see this diamond gold that is um, hidden inside a dirty wrapping paper, right? That's what atomy is, right? Many people only see the surface. That doesn't seem pretty, but what is actually inside is diamond. Now, second, we need to commit to living a positive life because negativity is a poison that will kill you, not only your business, but also your life, right? The more we say negative things, the more we complain, then that will actually keep attracting negative things to your life. And so you will keep finding more and more things to complain about. But when you commit to staying positive, have positive affirmations, then you will always be able to see the positive things in your life and also attract positive things to your life as well. Now, lastly, we also need to be committed to paying the price. We have to be prepared to pay the price. So what this means is, well, nothing in life is free, right? So to give you a more concrete example, this means that this is all about where we put our time. So usually, for many people, they like to watch Netflix. Some people have hobbies like playing golf, or, a lot of people doom scroll on Instagram these days, right? And just spend hours and hours just going on Instagram. So we have to think about how much time we spend on each thing in our daily life and where that actually gets us. And the most important question to ask ourselves is, whatever we are putting our time into, is this something that is going to help my business grow? So if the answer is yes, then by all means, you can keep doing that. But if the answer is no, then we need to put a stop to it and then rethink about where we can prioritize where we put our time. So after we find our dream, now we also made the decision to really commit. I'm going to pay the price. I'm going to really lead my own life, to stick by my decision and live positively to make my dream come true. So when you have that preparation, then the first step that you can take is writing a name list. So when we make a name list, it is in order for us to share Atomy to other people, right? But here's a mistake that many people make. They say that they always think about who they think will be interested in the business. But but as you can see here, the first point here, it says all living people, right? So when we're writing our name list, we're not just writing the people that we think will be interested in business or people who we think will buy the products. No, it's all people that can use daily necessity products. So which means that they're all living people, right? Who is not able to use toothpaste or toothbrush? Nobody, right? Everyone can use toothbrush. Everyone needs to brush their teeth and take a shower and also be healthy, right? So all of those people who can use daily necessity products, we write them down in our name list. So that's why we can see in our second point, do not prejudge. Our prejudging is not our job, right? It is up to them to make the decision whether they want to use products and whether they want to join the business. All we do is just share information to them. So that is why we never know who's going to be interested in Atomy and who's not going to be interested. That is why we always have to stop ourselves from prejudging and we include everybody in a name list. Now, third, when we write our name list, then we have to divide them into two groups because our business is a binary system, right? We have our left group of consumers and right group of consumers. So then you also have to decide who you're going to put in the left and who you're going to put in the right. Now, and the tip for that is first, if people are from the same group, then they should stay on the same line. So for example, for me, all of my church friends are on one side of my leg, right? And all of my family is on the other side of my leg. right? If I split my sister and my cousin, and then they both want to start Atomy business, but then now one of them is on my left and one of them is on my right, then they are going to have to compete against each other to register the rest of my family, right? So that is why. But then if they were on the same line, right, my sister registers first and then my cousin registers, then if all of my family registers below, then they're going to be then everyone is going to share the downline members together, right? That is why we have the synergy effect when we have people from the same group to stay on the same line. Now, next, we also need to prioritize, order people in terms of priority. So we have to know who are the people who are close to us in our heart and also by distance. So the people that we can contact often, people that we can meet often, they're the ones that we should contact first. Now, lastly, here's also the really important thing because all of us are people who have been doing Atomy business for quite a while, right? But when we say that this is the first action that we take, right? Writing the name list. So then people mistake this as you write the name list when you start the business, when you start Atomy business, and then after that, they're done with the name list. No, that is not what we should do. What we need to do is keep adding to the name list that we have. So let's say that you wrote 50 names down when you first decided to start Acme Business. It should not stop at just 50 people there. Every time that you meet new people, you make new friends. And then after you have partners, and then you meet your partners' friends and other people, you need to keep adding them to your name list, right? We have to keep having a bigger and bigger name list in order for us to keep growing. Now, next, we have to, after we come up with a name list, then we have a lot of names, right? Then what do we do with them? We invite them. So when we invite them, here's the important thing. And I'm sure that in all, wherever you are, I know that a lot of countries and cultures are quite negative about MLM business, right? The perception towards network marketing is not positive in many countries. And that's the same for wherever I am in Cambodia, in Indonesia, in Korea as well. When people hear about MLM, they already, from the start, they kind of look at you in a little different way, right? So that is why when we call people to invite them, right, we need to make an appointment only, right? And it's not good to just start explaining everything from there, right? If you call your friend and say, hey, I want to invite you to something, and then they say, oh, what is it about? Hey, I started a business called Atomy, and they ask, what is it? And then you start going on and on about the marketing plan, then most likely they're not going to want to meet up with you anymore and they're going to start ignoring your calls, right? A lot of the leaders in Atomy, they tell you about this experience, right? So that, and the reason why they would reject you like this is not because Atomy is bad. It's actually because they don't know about the details of Atomy business, right? It's only because they don't understand it that they reject. So that is why if you're able to meet in person first, and then you can explain to them, you have a much higher chance of getting the information through to them and changing their mind as well, right? Breaking that stereotype and prejudice. So that is why when we call people, you call people to make appointment only. You can call them and say, hey, I have something to give you. Hey, I have a great opportunity that I want to share with you. Hey, let's catch up. I want to hear about your life and I also want have some things to share with you. Right. And then you just make and then you ask them when you want to meet up, and then that should be it. And then when you meet with people, that's when you can um, do more. So here you can also see it says rejection is vision, right? So what this means is that when people reject you, that's only because people don't have the information that you have. It only means that you are quicker than them in having this information. So that only benefits you, right? So that is why rejection is vision, and be proud and enjoy the rejections that you receive. Now, when we invite people, there are several things that we can invite people to. First, we need to invite people to Atomy products. So this is not only an option, I believe that this is something that we must do for everybody because 90% of people who are successful in Atomy, they all just, if you hear about all of their speeches, they will all say the same thing, which is that they tried product first and then they fell in love with the products, which is what led them to think more about Atomy business, which is what led them to look into Atomy business. So that is why every single person who starts Atomy business, they start as a consumer, which is why everyone that we share Atomy to, they need to use the products. If they don't use products, then it doesn't matter whatever else that they're interested in. They're most likely to probably stop after that. They're not going to last long if they don't like the products. So first we invite people to products, and then let's say that they also really like the products and they have good experience, and then you want to share about Atomy business. Then rather than talking to them yourself and sharing everything about the marketing plan, it is actually better to invite them to meet with your sponsor. Now that is what we call the Hoyler's Law, right? For people who are friends with you, people who are close to you, when you give information to them, they are not likely to receive that information in an objective manner. They don't really get the information objectively. They are already biased because they already know about your background and your life. So that is why if you have a stranger, right, your sponsor and your friend, they have never met with each other before. If a stranger shares information, right, if information is going from A to C, it is much more likely that C will receive that information more objectively and actually think about that information. So that is why communicating information is much more effective and efficient if we take this ABC strategy. So A is the advisor or your sponsor, and B is the bridge, right? It's you who's connecting your sponsor to your customer, and C is the customer, right? So as the bridge, then you need to really do a good job in inviting people and promote your sponsor to the customer so that your customer will actually respect your sponsor and listen carefully when you meet with them. Now, the last thing that we can invite people to is the seminar. Now, Success Academy, right, like the one that I was just in, had the promotion ceremony, right? Here is where you can actually watch people who are earning money, who are getting promoted, right? People who are actually, and then they also give their speeches, right? They tell their life story. This is where you can really see what kind of people are the ones doing Atomy business, what kind of people are the ones achieving success. And so this is where the marketing plan is coming to life. This is where people can really witness the proof that Atomy business works. So there is no better way to show people about Atomy business than to invite them to seminar. That is why we have to invite them to seminar too. Now, after we invite people, then the next part is we have to show them the plan, right? And what plan, you ask, is the business plan, right? If we only let people use the products only, then they're just going to be consumers. You're never going to find business partners, right? So the reason why we need to show the business plan is for the business expansion, to build our group, right? To make our team grow. So only with consumers, it is not and product delivery, it is not enough to grow our team. If you want to grow your team, then you need to find other partners who are going to also grow their team like you, right? If you are only sharing products, then you're only going to have customers and consumers who will just buy products from you. But the moment you find a partner, they're also going to start sharing Atomy to other people. So instead of having just yourself, one person working in Atomy business, now you have two people working in Atomy business. That is double the work that you initially had. That is why we need to find a partner, not just consumers. And in order to do that, we have to talk about the money. So how we can do it is we can invite them to business seminar. We can get support from our sponsor, or you can also do it yourself. You can also invite them to Zoom meetings like this. And if you want to do this
Bulan
well,
Ramadan ini,
right? If you want to do this well, then all you have to do is practice, practice, practice. Now, in our showing the plan, then we actually have a set structure. The full version is 2 hours, and we also have 1 hour version and 30-minute version and 10-minute version. But the whole point is these are the key points that we need to include. We have to introduce ourselves, right? And talk about our job in order to explain why that has led to us seeing the value in Atomy business. We have to talk about the change of age, right? The current trends, why everyone needs to do Acme business. We also introduce the company and also talk about the products that we really like and experience the effects from. And then we talk about the marketing plan, right? We explain briefly the main points. And then lastly, and I think this is the most important part, we have to share our dream and vision, right? Third, when you share your dream, and it's the kind of crazy dream that you would never dream of if it was not for Atomy, right? To earn $100,000 per month as passive income, to have the freedom of time, to have financial freedom, time freedom, and also to be friends rich, all of this, it sounds crazy. If you were just working a monthly salary kind of job, then that would never come true, right? So when you share this kind of dream to other people, then it's also going to touch upon other people's lost dreams, and it's going to provoke curiosity, and then other people are going to think, wow, this sounds crazy. But at the same time, they're going to be curious. And then they're going to look into what actually is atomy. So that is why we need to share our dream and vision. And also, that is the energy. That is the energy that can move people's hearts. So that's why we have to make sure we share our dream. Now, for the features of marketing plan, we all know about it, right? There's no registration fee, there's no ownership, unlimited levels, it's global one marketing, and there's compensation ceiling. So all in all, you need to be able to explain these main points in order to show people that Atomy really has a righteous marketing plan. It is a marketing plan that is not only fair, right? But it is a righteous marketing plan because even if you don't have special abilities, even if you don't have good skills, even if you don't have a lot of money or resources or human network, you can still succeed in Atomy business. And that is the whole point of why we are here, right? Because this is the only network marketing business, and this is the only platform business that can allow ordinary people like us to become successful. So we have invited people, we have showed them the business plan, right? Everyone has heard about the money, right? They tried the products, right? And then what do we need to do? We have to know, right? What do they think? If you let them try the products and then you also tell them about the business plan, and then you don't ask them, what do you think? And they never tell you, then how are you going to know whether they're interested or not, right? So that is why we need follow up. So we have the law of 48 hours, which means that after they have tried the products or after they have heard the business plan, then within 48 hours, we need to either meet with them again or contact them again to ask them, how was it? So the reason is 48 hours is because that's the expiration time of emotion and memory. Usually, after 48 hours have passed, then people don't really remember it anymore. And then if you ask them after 1 week, oh, how was the product? Then they're just gonna think, oh, I don't really remember. Oh, I think it was okay, right? They're not really gonna remember the effects. So after you deliver the product, after you have shared the product, then you can ask them, have you used it or not? Because there are also many people who are lazy and they don't use the product right away, right? So first you have to ask and check whether they have used the product. If they haven't, then yeah, you can ask them to use it. Now, after they have tried it, then you have to ask, is it good or not? And then sometimes, people also say, oh, I think I am having this and this problem. So uh, if it is not good, then you also need to provide customer service, right? You have to provide after service and make sure that either they can return the products if it really has a problem, or if it comes from them not knowing how to use the product, you can explain to them again, guide them again, so that they can use the product properly and really experience the good effects from our products. So that's what you need to do. So after you follow up with them like that, then they can become auto consumer, right? Because because all people who buy Atomy products, they will buy again because the quality is good and the price is good. So why wouldn't they buy again, right? So after that, they're going to become auto consumer. They will also, and you can also ask them to introduce other people to you, right? And then once they do that, they will also receive allowance, right? Commission. And then with the support of your sponsor, STP, and inviting them to seminar, then you can also guide them to how they can actually make more money, right? And then do this business properly. Now, after support of our sponsor, STP, and everything, then we need to understand we need to understand their needs and their why, right? Why they need to do Atomy business and what do they actually need. And then after that, we need to also re-invite them to the next meeting, right? You need to keep meeting with them. You need to keep inviting them to the seminars. Now, after we have, and when we follow up with people, the thing is we have many different kinds of responses, right? After you have showed the business plan, some people will show positive response and hallelujah, that's amazing. But also there's but a lot of the times, actually, a lot of the times people will say, oh, I think this is okay. I don't think this business is for me, right? People say, hey, oh, well, I think the idea is good, the concept is nice, but I'm not sure if I can actually grow fast in this business. I'm not confident enough to do this business for myself, even though it sounds like a really great idea, right? So maybe people have many different kinds of responses, and then not always you will know the best answer to respond to them, right? And that is why we need to consult with our sponsor, right? The purpose of our consultation is because this serves as our GPS, right? If you want to get to the destination safely, then the best way to do it is to use Google Maps, right? So that is the same. If we have a specific goal, right? If we have a goal to become Imperial Master, then we also need to know the direction of getting there. If you keep working hard and you really spend so much time in Atomy business, but you don't know where you're going, then you're going to go a long way around, and that's going to take you forever. That is why, in order to shorten our time of getting to our goal, we need to use our GPS, which is our sponsor. So, who do we actually consult with? It is not just any sponsor. It is a sponsor that is active in Atomy business and that is perfectly plugged into the system. The one that is actually doing well in Atomy business and earning a lot of money from Atomy business. Those are the sponsors that you need to consult with. If your sponsor is someone who is not earning any money, who doesn't even go to the seminar, who's very lazy, and maybe is active only sometimes in Atomy, do you think that they will be able to give you good advice? I don't think so, right? So you need to be sure that your sponsor is also someone that you can really trust the advice from. Now, another thing to keep in mind, our content of consultation, it should not be about live counseling, right? It shouldn't be about complaining about your partner or talking about K-pop Demon Hunters and some new Netflix show that you watched or some problem that you're going through in your life. No, it shouldn't be to talk about those things, but it should be about your business, right? When you meet with your sponsor, and if you're close with your sponsor, that's great. But when you're consulting with them, then make sure that you are focused on the business because that's what we are here to do. Now, there's a lot of reasons why people say that they cannot consult with their sponsor, right? The first reason is because they don't know the benefits, right? And the benefits of consultation is consolation, empathy, encouragement, direction, right? It's really great. And actually, last night I had a consultation with Crown Master Lee Seung-hee, and she explained things to me that really opened my eyes to a whole other level. And it made everything for my future so clear. And now I have such a clear direction to go that I am now even more motivated. And yesterday I was so excited that I told my sponsor that wow, I don't think I am going to fall asleep tonight because this is really so enlightening. It was a life-changing advice. Where else can you get that kind of thing, right? If you're working alone and never consult with your sponsor, then you will never have this kind of opportunity. So that is the real benefit of consultation. So you really need to make sure you do that. Now, other reasons, people think that because they're doing well in anatomy, they think, oh, I'm fine. I'm doing perfectly fine right now. I don't need advice, right? But that is actually when you need to consult your sponsor the most, because when you are doing well and then you consult with your sponsor, then you can grow even faster. But if you do not consult with your sponsor, then all of those good things that you have built, they can also crumble in any moment, right? So and then the next reason, people think that they're not doing well, they don't have anything to show their sponsor, and they feel ashamed. But actually, when you are stuck, that is when you need to consult with your sponsor, right? In order to get out of that slump, you need help from your sponsor. Your sponsor can actually give you an answer, what you need to do to get out of that slump. So when you're not doing well, when you're not stuck, that is also when you have to consult with your sponsor. Now, if you're a sponsor that is providing counseling, consultation to your partners, then the first thing and the most important thing is that we have to lead by example ourselves, right? If we say that you need to follow 8 steps of success, if we tell our partners, you need to do 8 steps of success, you need to do 8 core, but then we don't do it, then how are they going to listen, right? They're going to think, hey, even you don't do it, why should I do it, right? And then they're not going to do it. But then who is that going to hurt? Everybody, right? So that is why we have to lead by example and do it ourselves first. And of course, we have to show empathy and encourage our partners instead of scolding them and criticizing them. It's always better to show empathy, to be understanding, and try to gently encourage them so that they can keep going. Now, if we are not able to give them sufficient advice, or if they also ask you questions that you are not able to answer, you shouldn't be just stand there and lie to their partner, right? You can connect them to your higher sponsor so that they can give a much more better advice. Always in Atomy business, the best thing is to use your sponsor. I the thing is, this is what our sponsors tell us, right? They always tell us, use me, right? And so and so the best thing to do is to actually listen to them, right? When we can use our sponsor, that is the best way to do this business. All right, if we are partners who are getting consultation from our sponsors, then there are also tips that we have to follow, right? First, never do pre-consultation and post-report, right? So that means that you shouldn't just so don't consult with your sponsor before you do something and then report them after, right? You need to be consulting with them all the time, right? Not only before you do things or not only after you do things. Always include your sponsor in the process. Now, next point, you should always have your genealogical map, 8 core checklist, life scenario, and your lower group sales, right? These are the things that you can actually show your sponsor. What is your situation right now, right? If you go to your sponsor and say, I'm not getting any sales. I'm not making any money, right? And then your sponsor will ask, so what are you actually, doing all of these things every day? And then you don't have your 8 core checklist. How are you going to show them, right? And if you're going to say that you're not making any sales and you need more sales, then you have to show them the data also, right? So that's why you need to have all of these things that you can present to your sponsor so that they can give you clear advice and also present a solution for you. Now, of course, who we need to consult with is a sponsor who is perfectly plugged into the system, never the sibling line, right? Only your direct line sponsors are share the same destiny as you. Only for the people who are in your line, Your success means your sponsor's success. If they're from a brother line, they don't really have much to do with you, right? So when it comes to consulting your own business, you have to consult with your own direct line sponsor. Now, I think this point is the one that is actually included in both sponsor and partner because this is the most important skill for clear communication, right? We have to listen carefully. This is not only to pay good attention, but also to respect each other as human beings. Our business is all about relationships, right? We don't want to offend each other. We don't want to hurt each other's feelings. We always want each other to feel respected, feel loved, and also feel heard. I think that is the key to this business. Make each other feel heard. Because our business is all about relationships, a lot of our problems also come from relationships. So, in order for us, I think the best way to prevent those problems is to listen carefully. Let each other feel heard, and you will be able to um get away from most of the conflicts that you would face. Now, for the situation, there are many things that you can consult about, right? I think I gave some examples, right? I'm not making any sales. Usually, the reason is because you're not using enough products, right? If you are using a lot of products and you're using 300, 400 products from Atomy, there's no way that you're going to stay silent about Atomy, right? You're going to keep telling people, my breath is smelling so fresh today because I used Atomy toothpaste. My hands are so moist because the hand cream is so nice and it smells so good as well. My skin is glowing extra today because I used Absolute Skincare last night, right? I feel so full of energy today because I took Hemohim and Hemohim shot. Thank you to Sharon Rose Master Hong Sang-soo and Diamond Master Park Shin-hee for giving us the Hemohim shot, bringing it for all the way from Korea. Seriously, so precious. It's really heavy, and then they brought it on the airplane. So that's how we got to try the drink. And when we tried it, wow, within like 15 minutes, I felt all of my tiredness went away, right? So if you don't try the products like this, you're not going to be able to share about it. That's why we have to use all the products and try to use more and more products too. And so moving on. Now, who doesn't get partner, right? If you're not getting partners, most likely you're not inviting people or you're not following up with them, right? So for all of these problems that we have, right, whether it's not getting enough sales or not struggling with registering members or not getting a partner, they all usually have a cause for that, right? So if you have a symptom, there's a cause. So through consultation, your sponsors will be able to very clearly diagnose you with what problem you have, and then they will be able to present you with a solution as well. So that is why we need to consult with people. Now, here's the thing. All of our leaders say that the core of network business is the duplication, right? Duplication is the key essence of what our business is all about. So that the reason is because in network marketing, right, when we duplicate ourselves that are doing this business, then suddenly instead of you working in this business alone, you have two in your downline, right? Like now you have 3 people, 5 people, 10 people, 100 people so you're duplicating yourselves. How many times do we think that there's so much to do, but not enough of our time and effort, right, and energy? And then so Miss Moon just came in and asked me to finish quickly. Okay, so many times how many times do we wish that, oh, I wish I had a copy of myself, right? I wish I had one more copy of myself so that I can have 2 people doing this work, right? Imagine that you can copy yourself for 50 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. That is that is the key of duplication, right? When we duplicate ourselves, that is how we can actually grow this business. So we have to guide our partner to follow all 8 steps, follow the first 7 steps of 8 steps of success, and then duplicate themselves as well. So in order to do that, of course, we have to be the good tree in order to bear good fruits, right? So we have to follow everything and lead by example. So we have to duplicate successful people who have a wonderful dream and action. And then we have to find other people who will duplicate us. And then we will succeed when we have found that someone who will duplicate us. So that is all for the 8 sets of success presentation today. I hope that that was helpful and interesting for everybody. And the thing is, today, actually, just I think right now, Crown Master Lee Seung-hee is downstairs. I'm at Blissful Restaurant. And Crown Master Lee Seung-hee is also flying back to Korea today. So I think she needs to leave soon. So I think for today, I'm going to cut the time for giving speeches and sharing. I hope that is okay with everybody. But yeah, I hope that this was very useful for everybody. And please feel free to contact me for any questions and feedback as well. I always value everyone's feedback. So, and also next week, I will make the promise now. Next week, I will also share more about what I learned in Cambodia this week, right? There's so much that I learned, and I'm so happy to share as well. So I hope that everyone enjoyed tonight. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. And let's recite our company motto and finish for today. All right, are you all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, company motto. Yeah,
Company motto. Yeah.
cherish the
영혼을
spirit,
지키며
creativity, follow the
creativity,
Follow the
faith.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. 수고했습니다.
Thank you,
감사합니다,
Mr.
김만초
Bunsen.
팀장님.
감사합니다, 국장님.
조심히 잘 다녀가세요.
네, 감사합니다. See you next week, everybody.
네, 너무 멋있었어요, 승급식 사진.
감사합니다. 네, 그럼 저 빨리 가야 돼서 이제 끝내겠습니다.
네,
네, 감사합니다.
좋은 시간 되세요. 네,
수고하셨습니다.
감사합니다.